Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to talk about if Tesla is the next Palantir. So that's right, you are reading the title correctly, because normally people are like, is Palantir the next Tesla? But I believe Tesla is the next Palantir, and I have to explain why this is. By the way, both stocks have had a phenomenal day. I believe both of them are up about 6%. So congratulations for people who own the stock, and even more congratulations to people who own both, like this guy here. So, but I do believe that Tesla has a lot in front of it, and I have to go into why. So if you like this video, please make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the new videos. And if you are on Twitter, very important, check out my Twitter @VinceIsBullish and say hi to me. I would like to speak to you there. So what happened to Palantir? Palantir was a very interesting stock. It was a very misunderstood company. So just a few months ago, this was a company that was not known as an AI company. It had a very crazy leader, Alex Karp, who many people thought didn't want profitability. He was giving away the company to employees. He cannot sell. He has a bad go-to-market strategy, and people, many finance YouTubers, wanted him fired, and they wanted another CEO for Palantir. And this was not even the biggest problem. The biggest problem was that people didn't even understand the go-to-market strategy of Palantir. They didn't understand what Palantir was doing. And you had to do hundreds and hundreds of hours of research on YouTube to understand what this company does. Hundreds of hours on many channels, including this channel. And it's only the smart people who did it. So if you caught Palantir at the below $10 price and you understood what the company is, you are really special and you are really intelligent, and I want you to know that. So the company was not even known as an AI company. So it's crazy. There was a third party, Forrester, I believe the company is called, who came out that by revenue, Palantir is beating Google and Microsoft in AI, yet people didn't think of Palantir as an AI company. And then ChatGPT came along and it started the age of AI craze, that's what I call it. And it has changed everything. And I must say that management has pivoted extremely well to this situation. They recognize that the market has changed, and now we're not in a market where it's growth at all costs, and they really reined in the costs. They focused on GAAP profitability, and they went into the AIP platform. This is, success is when opportunity meets preparation. ChatGPT was the opportunity, and Palantir, Foundry, and the whole company and all the work that they have been doing for the past 20 years, that was the preparation, and it seems to be working out really well. The stock is up 112% year to date, which is phenomenal. Many are questioning if this is even sustainable. Of course, this level of increase is not sustainable, but I've done a lot of videos on that. The stock has been re-rated. Like, the market didn't understand what Palantir was, and now the market sort of understands what Palantir is, and therefore that was this really big sharp increase. Now obviously it's not going to go up with this speed, and whatever, it will be a separate video, but just because it's up 112%, I think it's around fair value currently, and it should steadily go up from here. Now, why would Tesla be the next Palantir? So Tesla is a very interesting company because it has already had one battle when it was misunderstood, and it has completely won it. If you remember in 2018, 2019, so Tesla went from an almost bankrupt EV with very shitty valuation, where people thought that this company would never make profit. Elon Musk, I don't know what people thought about Elon Musk, but he smoked weed on the Joe Rogan podcast. People called for his resignation. He was sued by the SEC. There was a risk that he's removed from the company, and so forth and so forth. So when it was proven that this company actually can make profit and they're a very good EV maker, the company went 20x up, and it really rewarded the people who stuck to it. But then the times have changed. The market has changed, and since then the stock fell a 75%. But at this point, I would argue that Tesla is again misunderstood. You have FSD, you have Robotaxi, you have the Tesla bot, and none of these are in the valuation. I literally have a valuation of Tesla, which I want to remake. You can find it on the Patreon of this channel, but I will make it also publicly available when I remake it. But the point is, I get a higher valuation than the stock is currently just from the car making of the company. No FSD, no Robotaxi, none of the future shit, okay? Only making of the cars makes the stock value fairly valued today. So recently I've been looking at some videos about 100 bagger stocks, and you know how you can find 10 baggers and 100 baggers and what are similar with these companies. And it's very, very interesting. This really expands my own understanding as an investor, because one of the lessons that I took away, I'm sure all of you know that the valuation of a company is based on the assumptions that you as an investor have about the future of the company. So if the company has X amount of revenue, but you think that that revenue is going to grow 50% for the next 10 years, that company is much more valuable than the same company who has X revenue and it's going to grow only 10% per year. And what this guy was saying is, when you have very excellent companies and very excellent managements, you can have positive catalysts. So, you know, a negative catalyst would be like COVID, the Ukraine war, the inflation, the Fed increasing the interest rates. Oh my God, we had so many of these negative catalysts that we couldn't think with happening all at the same time. But when you have these exceptional companies, you have positive catalysts that are like COVID, but you know, on the positive side. So a very good example of that is actually COVID for Zoom. So Zoom happened to be a video communications company, and when COVID came, they were at the right place at the right time, right? And then they blew up. Another very good example is, you know, people whine about that they missed investing into Amazon, but honestly, you would have missed Amazon because if you go back to the days when Amazon was just a bookstore on the internet, there's no way you can do a DCF for any kind of valuation and take the bookstore revenue and you know, the bookstore profits and earnings and get the valuation today. So you didn't know that that company is going to innovate like crazy, stumble upon AWS, and AWS after 10 years is going to take off like crazy, and half the world you know, online commerce is going to be run on AWS. So that was a positive catalyst that no one saw coming, and it was impossible to model in your valuation. So this guy made this argument that when you have these, you know, 10 and 100 baggers, obviously you don't know which company is going to be a 10 and 100 bagger, but when you meet companies that have that characteristic, then you just want to own the company, and it almost doesn't matter what valuation you buy the company at, because the management, if they're good, they're going to have future ways of monetizing the company that you can't even think of today. So that was a very long way of saying that I believe that Robotaxi, FSD is such a big part of the future valuation of Tesla, which is actually documented in Cathie Wood's research. And I know Cathie Wood is Cathie Wood. She's very controversial, but you have to give it to her. She was right on Tesla. And I watched this recent Elon Musk interview with the CNBC reporter, and Musk specifically referenced Cathie's research, that she is very accurate about Robotaxi and how she's thinking about Robotaxi. So we need to pay attention to her on Tesla, but I don't think anything else. So because these things are such a huge part of Tesla's future valuation and it's so unknown, I believe that you can accumulate Tesla shares almost at any price at this point. The important thing is just you have a big portion of your portfolio in Tesla. So obviously use common sense. This is not investment advice, and I am actually going to do a future valuation where I try to incorporate FSD, Robotaxi, not Tesla, but because I have absolutely no clue if that is going to be subscription or they're going to sell by piece or lease it out. I have no effing clue. And then even after this, there is so many potentials that it's impossible to count with. I mean, just yesterday, Tesla announced that they are opening up the supercharger network to Ford, which basically is phenomenal, because it's impossible, and it was never the plan that Tesla would 100% take over the car market, right? It's impossible. Elon Musk said that if they are 9 or 10%, when the company is fully mature, he will be happy. So that means that there will be 90% other cars that will be sold, but those cars need certain other things to run, like electricity to run, and somebody needs to provide that. So if Tesla would build out a huge charging network, which they have, and let the other 90% of the cars also use it, which is obviously not going to happen, but some of the car makers are going to use it, they will have additional revenues. So they will like have the cake and then have another cake that is not even their cake, and then they will still have a cake left somewhere. So they will have like 3 cakes. And then they can have the FSD and license it out for hundreds of dollars per month to other car companies that want to have full self-driving, which is insane. It's even like unfathomable to model. For example, if Ford would start building in Tesla FSD into their electric cars, and if Tesla just gets a few million cars per new cars a year that is on FSD that is not Tesla produced, that's billions and billions straight to the bottom line with 80% profit. So there is just so much upside potential that it's even impossible to count with right now. And I'm not even going to mention the Tesla bot, as I said, mining, etc., etc. So I feel super safe adding Tesla at a 250 and below valuation, and I just add. Doesn't matter what the stock price is going to do, because if the stock price goes to 2,000 or 5,000, I don't think it matters if I bought it at 180 or 250. The important thing was just having as big a position as possible. So here's where it's so much similar to Palantir. Currently, to understand this, what I just told you, you need to watch hundreds and hundreds of hours of very nerdy YouTube videos, Sandy Munro breaking down cars, solving the money problem, this channel, many other channels, and the market doesn't see the true potential at Tesla at this point. So the price is artificially low, just like Palantir's was just a few months ago, right? And this is going to change at one point, and I'm just warning you about this. So I wanted to put this video out about how I believe if you don't, you need to have a plan of how big part you want to make Tesla of your portfolio, and you need to act with speed to, really build that position out. And I don't think that you have to worry about what price you're getting it at, because the future is just so bright for this company. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hit me up on Twitter @VinceIsBullish, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.